Barbell Shrugged.
This week on Barbell Shrugged.
This week on Barbell Shrugged.
This week on Barbell Shrugged. This week on Barbell Shrugged.
This week on Barbell Shrugged.
This week on Barbell Shrugged.
This week on Barbell Shrugged.
This week on Barbell Shrugged. This week on Barbell Shrugged.
This week on Barbell Shrugged.
This week on Barbell Shrugged. This week on Barbell Shrugged.
Wing it. Fuck planning, it's overrated. CTP's got a wide shot.
Yes, he does.
Are we ready?
Yeah, we're recording. Let's do it. Oh.
All right, Mike Bledsoe here with Barbell Shrugged.
Yeah, that's our
that's
name.
what
That's
we do.
still what we're called.
We're hanging out at the Garage Games 1 event in Suwanee, Georgia. That's near Atlanta. Got Chris Moore here, Doug Larson, and we brought our guest in, Steve Mullen, to hang out with us. So real quick promo. Make sure you go to barbellshrugged.com, sign up for our newsletter, go to our fan page and like us on Facebook. Go to iTunes, give us 5 stars because, well, only if you think we're awesome.
And if you do that, we will send you with our minds a Barbell Shrugged man hug.
Good vibes.
Right to you.
I've actually done the 5-star review, and about a couple days after that, I saw some performance increases.
I gave you a hug.
I'm serious. I could feel it.
My brain.
I could feel it.
Yeah.
Brain hugs.
Doug gave you over the pants HJ.
Yeah.
With his mind.
Steve and I have hung out before out in California during the CrossFit Games in 2011.
Yeah, 2011.
We had a great time.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah. I don't remember all of it, but
yeah.
Did you guys? Did you drink some alcohol?
Maybe a little bit.
Took a little bit down.
And red line. We mixed red line.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The only time I've seen that done.
Combination.
The only time I've seen anybody actually drink red line was at the honor class where that guy fucking passed out and had a heart attack.
Had a
almost. Do you remember that?
They wheeled him off in a stretcher.
Seizure on the platform.
Yeah.
He was going out and the guy just dropped. Looked like he dropped dead.
Wow.
Yeah, that doctor came back and was like, "See these?
Don't do this.
Never drink one of these." I was like, "Okay, sir."
But yet they banned my 1,3-dimethyl meth because it's dangerous.
Well, Steve,
love that stuff.
Steve here's a coach at CrossFit North Atlanta and a CrossFit competitor.
Yep.
What have you done in the past for CrossFit competitions? What's your most notable achievement?
I guess 2011. I finished like 30th in the Open in our region, and then went down to Jacksonville, finished 18th or 19th that year, 2011. Then last year, finished 15th in the Southeast in the Open. And my daughter was scheduled to be born and was born the weekend of regionals, so I actually didn't get an opportunity to go down and compete. So that was kind of a tough pill to swallow, having to train for months and months and months. And, you just didn't. Well, you really don't know like when they're.
Did you hold your precious newborn daughter and be like, "I love you so much, but you crushed Daddy's dream"?
Well, all we've been talking about is 2013. So yeah.
Give her a kiss on the forehead. You let me down, but I love you. One fucking day, all I ask. One fucking day.
Just give me this weekend, man.
No, I'm sure your baby girl and your family
it's
gorgeous
great.
and
It's
lovely.
great. Yeah. That's actually been a big adjustment the past year. Continuing to keep up with training. And
how much do you sleep, my friend?
I mean, in the previous years, for training, McGoldrick was saying, shoot for 9 or 10 hours a night. That's what we're trying to get.
Fucking pipe dream.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I definitely get at least 7, every now and again.
That's good.
8, 8.5. If I'm doing that, then I'm definitely doing well.
My son's a little over a year, and he wakes up 5 times a night screaming.
Yeah.
Usually, like 4 a.m. today, he was yelling and screaming, and in the bed tossing and turning. No sleep for me.
Yeah. It's tough. It's been a tough adjustment, but continuing to have people around me. I know you guys know Matt Baird. He does some work with you guys. Yeah. We love Matt.
Yeah, he's our boy.
Keeping him around. We train together sometimes, so that helps. And I have a coach as well, so keeping on the programming and that kind of stuff.
Who's your coach?
OPT.
Okay.
Same as Mike. I've been with him since. Actually met him here when he did the talk here 2 years ago, and he competed at the Garage Games 1 event that we're at right now. And at his talk, there was one thing that he kind of touched on, which was he said 18 months. He was like, if you've been doing CrossFit.com workouts for 18 months, get ready to start seeing plateaus. And I was at like 16 months at that point. So I was like,
oh, wow.
wait a second. So that's the very first time that I thought about getting individualized programming, individualized coaching. And as a competitor, it's like there's no way I can go back now. I can't, there's literally no way I could go back to going without having a coach, without having a set program, and can at least to consider myself to be a competitor.
But I guess I'd ask you this. If you could go back and do it again, we kind of had this discussion yesterday on the show we shot then. Would you not do that? Would you go the customized route earlier, or do you think that was essential to get all that early work in and then progress to something more complicated?
Yep. I know a lot of our answers that I've heard on the podcast before, everyone always says, it depends. But it really is the truth. I do think it was beneficial for me to really just kind of quote unquote go through the grinder.
Yeah.
Just get as much done as you can. You're doing 2 or 3 workouts a day and you really think you're developed. But I feel like that helps. Now, I probably could have done that for like 6 months and then got a coach.
Yeah.
But I think at least on the point of anybody that thinks they want to compete at this now, you need a coach. You need someone programming for you.
You want a legit shot at doing well.
Oh yeah, there's no chance. It's so competitive.
It's rapidly
now.
Evolving too. It's escalating quickly.
Absolutely.
So how does the coach's programming, individualized for you, differ from what you were doing before?
Well, so before, just like anybody else, I was just doing the gym workout. That's how it started. Just doing the gym workout of the day. And our gym originally went off of .com. Then it kind of went to its own programming, but still, just normal .com workouts. And then after that, I kind of started to see like, man, I think I need to get stronger. Yeah. So then I started adding some lifting in like before I would do the workouts. And I just didn't really know what I was doing. So I was really just pounding myself into the ground. I had no idea.
It's an experiment.
Exactly. And so that's kind of where I was and where I led up to up until going with coaching with OPT. Yeah.
So adding strength work was the biggest thing?
Yeah. But that was, I just knew I needed to get stronger. I saw the guys at the competitions and I was like, okay, I can run with those guys. I can do pull-ups with those guys. I can do that kind of stuff. But
so you saw clearly that you had the potential to take the next step. You just had to sort of put it together a little better.
Yeah, and at 170 pounds, like, I got to be as strong as possible for my body weight.
I was telling these guys last time I was under 200, I was practicing my cursive with a fat pencil in grade school. I can't remember what that feels like.
Yeah.
That must be awesome when you're doing pull-ups.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Holy shit, look at this. It's like I'm on the moon.
Yeah. Yeah, but having someone that programs for you, they can also do it kind of around your lifestyle. So last year at this time, my programming was definitely different than it is now.
I'm making that point this afternoon, my friend.
Yeah.
How some people, they see a workout on a whiteboard. They go, there's the workout. I must do that no matter what.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, you have your life. You got a family.
Absolutely.
You very likely work hard. You're thinking about training. things aren't so easy to define in terms of boundaries and deadlines. And my phase 1 starts here. This one's going to start here 14 fucking weeks from now, even though I have no idea what's happening in 14 weeks or how I'm going to respond to my training. It's not a very good way to plan. Unless you're a student athlete who's locked into a schedule where the coach is going to make you do some shit, or at the athletic training center where your whole life is just this thing. Then it's great. Everybody can do a similar kind of thing, assuming they're talented enough. But not for us. We can't do that.
And having a coach, having someone to program for you where they can do it, like you said, around your lifestyle. I don't work within the fitness industry. Like I train classes at CrossFit North Atlanta, but I don't program. I coach one class a night. And my wife and I have an insurance agency, a State Farm agency here in Atlanta.
Awesome.
Call us, Lindsey Mullen State Farm, if you need insurance.
Get insured, homie.
There you go. Shameless plug.
Drop
I love it.
Get that plug in.
Protect your family, bitches.
So if you live in Georgia,
Georgia, give us a call. We are the official CrossFit insurance providers for anybody that does CrossFit in Georgia.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. So
Official.
You merge the worlds together pretty
Exactly.
nice.
I don't know if I mentioned official, but we're the official.
how do they get in contact with you? Email, phone number?
You can go to
website?
Lindsey Lindsa Mullen MULLEN.com, LindseyMullen.com. That is my beautiful wife. Go to the website, or you can give us a call, 404-728-1000.
I tell you what, it's a good thing. When you call up your insurance provider and you're trying to get coverage for yourself or your family, you say, well, I do this thing where I compete in a crazy-ass sport where I punch myself. They go, yeah, CrossFit, we do it.
Yeah,
They don't look at
exactly.
you like you're an assoul for pushing your limits.
Yeah.
They don't double your premium.
Yeah, but getting back to the coach and the programming, I just don't have the time to do a 2-hour session in the AM, maybe do something at lunch, and then do something at night. So I got to have someone that knows my life, knows my lifestyle, and can program for what I need to get accomplished around that. And they know the timeline, they know the open, and OPT was a good choice for me. I liked, I just liked that he did CrossFit, was successful at it. But at the same time, before CrossFit, he had 10 years of strength and conditioning kind of before that.
Yeah.
I love CrossFit, but what is fitness? I mean, listen, I don't know, man. I mean, there's a
Get
lot
philosophical here.
there's a lot of different definitions you can get into there. I mean, it's it's kind of like I feel like that the games, they're producing some amazing guys, but the weights that they're, it's definitely geared a lot more to Olympic lifting. I'm not saying there's anything bad with that.
We were talking about that last night, how that guy that he runs that blog where he does the statistical analysis of the competitions.
Yeah, I've
and
seen
he was
that.
like, you know what, the #1 movement for CrossFit, snatch. Yeah. So it's like, there you go.
I don't disagree. What would you have that's a more well-rounded test of everything than the snatch? It's good it works out like that.
Absolutely.
If it was the box jump, I'd be like, well, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I know, God. I just know they're about to program another high-rep box jump workout in the open, and I'm just going to be like, God.
It's 8 a.m. You've got 12 hours to do 5,000 box jumps. Go. If you tear an Achilles tendon, you're not very fit, are you?
So I know recently you've moved towards having the garage gym at your place because Max takes up so much of your time. Has that been something you've considered?
You know what?
Getting a rower or an Aerodyne or something? You do some intervals?
My wife was fully backing, and my daughter was born last April of 2012. And so starting at Christmas of 2012, I started to slowly acquire, got a barbell, got some weights, put some rubber down in the carport. I do have a rower. I got a rower at the house now. I got an Aerodyne at the house. I got pull-up bar. So I slowly started to acquire those things. I still go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, but on those days where you do have an AM session and you got to row, well, at least I don't have to drive 15 minutes to go to the gym just to row.
Exactly. It's not practical. What I always tell people is that if I'm going to do X amount of work, let's say I'm going to squat and deadlift and press, if I have to go to a gym, I can maybe do it 3 days a week. If you I cram all that into one session and I can't focus on any one thing. If I can divide it up in multiple sessions, I can focus just on the one thing at a time.
Yep.
So I'm gonna put more effort into it. And if I divide the same amount of work and spread it out over the day, I'm gonna automatically recover better.
Yeah.
So it's like having a big, huge bump in your performance just by doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps the lifestyle, makes mama happy, makes baby happy, makes daddy happy. So that's
a big thing. Your wife will start resenting the shit out of you if you go, I gotta go do my extra rowing session, babe.
I know.
And she's nursing the baby, and in her head she's like, oh, it's fine. But no, you're an asshole for doing it.
Yeah. Next thing, 3 weeks later, it's not fine anymore.
No. Then you start getting the sarcastic jokes, and they start getting a little heavy, and then she just calls you out on it. Better just to throw down the $900, get you a rower out in the garage.
But it definitely takes a very motivated particular person to train by themselves. A large portion of the time. I know a lot of people, and I definitely think people can benefit from a training partner and having other people around. But it definitely takes a special kind of person to
you have to
be able to do it all the time. I mean, I don't do it all the time, but it's a lot tougher to row a 40-minute map rowing session just by yourself in the carport.
All right, I've probably the majority of my training sessions I've done over my entire lifespan have probably been maybe 50% by myself. And when I have like a consistent training partner, that's when I make the most progress.
Yeah. It definitely helps. It definitely helps.
What's this guy doing over here?
He's gonna
we have
he's gonna do
hundreds of people walking over there.
He's gonna do 500 for 5. CTB, can we commentate? Well, you probably won't get to see it.
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to see.
my back is
I did talk to him earlier. He competes. He finished second in either the world or nationals 168-pound class.
Powerlifting?
Yeah, and he's got a over 1,800 total.
Raw lifting?
Not raw.
Equipment? Yeah.
Not raw.
I come from that world, so you're speaking my language.
I know.
now.
Yeah.
So you want to give some perspective on how good that is for people that don't powerlift?
What's his weight class?
168.
Yeah, so
163.
Yeah, 163-pound guy who with a belt on is going to do 500 for 5 is about as equivalent. Man, that's about as strong as you can get pound for pound. I mean, I can't think of many guys who can do more than that.
Yeah, triple body weight for 5. Ooh. Everyone's counting.
Yeah. So,
wow.
That dude, he's moving
it's
fast.
moving a little high. Yeah, but that's the problem. I mean,
He's moving fast. He's not grinding those reps out.
Yeah,
I did see him do some warm-up reps like 400 pounds, and he was coming up fast.
Yeah. See, in the world of powerlifting, if you can squat triple body weight for a set of 5, that's pretty good, is it?
I just heard 6. I think he just did 7 actually.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So my best.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, it's almost as good as my
So his
my
relative
350 for 2.
Yeah.
his relative strength is really awesome. My best reps squatting was about a year and a half, 2 years ago when I did the easy set of 10 at 500. Maybe not the deepest I could have gone, but so yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
And I was like 315 at the time.
And that guy's like half your size.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Now, I will make the point. I'll make an important point I was thinking about earlier in the week. Like for me, I'm naturally inclined to be over 300 if I'm just lifting and eating what I need to eat. To get down to a lighter body weight to have that like ratio better, I gotta deprive myself of food.
Yeah.
So if Mike, like what do you walk around at, Mike?
175.
So if you want to bulk up and eat all you could possibly hold and have all the excess calories possible, you might be able to inch your way to 200. So that's in a prime state of performance for you.
200 is hard. I've done it, and it's tough.
For me to try to meet
everything I got.
For me to try to meet you.
Were you having the meat sweats?
Oh, yeah, dude, walking around. My wife hates it when I put on weight because I'll get in bed at night.
But that's
and she's
the point.
like, "Hey, baby," I'm like, "Don't touch me."
But I'll make the point about being a lighter versus heavier lifter. Everybody goes, well, pound for pound. Everybody needs to remember, it's not like a linear relationship. If you keep gaining weight, you won't necessarily get stronger. It starts to taper off.
It's called the Sinclair formula.
Yeah, the Sinclair formula. So if I want to gain weight to get stronger, it won't be the more I gain, the stronger I get. It starts tapering off. But for me to meet you in the middle to improve our formula results, I got to deprive myself and go into a state of starvation. So it's not necessarily a fair thing to say, oh, he's fucking half your size and squatting twice as much as you. Well, you know.
Yeah.
It's a little more complicated than that.
Yeah, out of the 3 or 4 guys that have ever clean and jerked triple body weight, they've all been in the lightest 2 weight classes. They all weigh like 120, 130 pounds.
Yeah, it's not quite the fairest thing in the world. Yeah, but especially if you see a guy who's like, I weigh 170 pounds, but he's 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
He's built like a brick shit house.
Yeah, which that's one thing that kind of upsets me when I see within the CrossFit world anyway. When people post their, back squat or, I front jerk this or something, and then they put their body weight.
Right.
You know what? Until we have weight classes in CrossFit, like I don't care.
Well, and everybady's got the thing.
It's
that
cool,
is,
but
I'm getting used to this term, the GOAT. We gotta make a T-shirt that says
I'm
"Tackle
a
your
lot more
goat."
impressed with a guy who's 175 who's back squatting a certain thing than if you're across and you're 225 and you're back squatting 400. I don't care.
yeah, no, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You're right. That's probably just me being,
But there's a tendency to showcase the thing you do well, and then you're not posting videos you doing your shitty handstand push-ups or whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody has a tendency to go away from the GOAT and highlight the thing that happens to suit their mechanics,
Yeah.
or their leverages, or whatever the hell.
Yeah,
they're
for
doing.
me, you'll never see me post anything that's over 3 reps.
Yeah.
I can do any CrossFit movement, anything, really well for maybe 3 reps.
3 reps.
And after that, my form starts breaking down. And
I'm going
it
to show
gets
you a
terrible.
muscle-up demo. Here's 1 rep. Look
Right.
how awesome I did.
That's definitely how I show double unders. I'm like, it's like this.
All right.
Y'all,
Did you catch that?
Y'all go
Okay.
try it.
By the way, later on we're gonna get. I think her name is Molly. She's gonna be showing us some jump rope stuff.
Oh,
so
man.
stay tuned for that.
Is that the chick that does double unders for 10 minutes straight?
Yeah, I
Wow,
think so.
that's
She's gonna
pretty good.
teach us about how to do double
She was doing
unders.
triple unders consecutively earlier.
Yeah,
Oh, that's the jump rope girl.
Yeah, I think she's the jumping rope.
yeah.
Woman.
They're trying to rope me into getting in on the thing in there and making me look very foolish.
Yeah.
Everyone on Twitter is like, "Oh, you should do that." And I'm like, I'm
CTP.
Gonna look
No, I
retarded.
shouldn't.
I want to do a
I'm gonna
technique
be on
wide.
Tosh.0.
I'm gonna do a technique wad where I just go, hey, this is Chris. I'm gonna show you how to do triple unders. And I'm gonna wear neon shoes. You can get a wide shot, and you can zoom in, and it's gonna be her feet going. Pop, 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 pop. I zoom out. I'm sweating like, how was that, everybody?
Told you. Told you I could do it, guys.
You just saw me do it.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. It's fun.
bet.
Yeah. I think I gotta start warming up here.
Yeah, you got to compete
Yeah,
here in the
yeah.
next few minutes.
We'll let you focus on what you came here to do.
Yeah.
All right,
CTB, get his neon shorts.
good luck.
Fade out
Yeah,
with the neon shorts.
Behind you.
Those are glorious. Oh, shit.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Yeah, man.
That was fun.
All right, we're back here at the Garage Games 1 event, hanging out with some athletes. Doug and I are here. Chris went off to do his talk on whatever he gave his talk on.
He's been very vague about describing his talk on the show.
I think that he didn't know what he was going to do it on.
Maybe that.
We have Shana back. She was podcasting with us last night. She's filling in for Chris. So
Sup?
she's going to tell all the ball and dick
Just pretend
jokes.
like I'm a 270-pound white bald dude.
Yeah, 270-pound bald powerlifter.
You
There
can
she is.
picture that, right?
With a very high voice.
And we have Brandon Phllips here. He's competing this weekend. I hear you're here just for the money.
Just for the money and 2 for the show? No.
He works hard for the money. So hard
I wish I was
for
here for the
honey.
money. Not doing well for the money right now. Sitting in
If I were
third.
you, I would just quit.
I might.
You should just throw all your shit down and be like, I am going home right now. Fuck this place.
Good job.
You sound like Chris. You got to derail us with some ridiculous story.
Right
That's
on,
your
that's
job.
my job. I got
That's
it.
right.
I got it.
You were exposed to that last night.
Word.
Brandon, we were talking the other day about raising kids, and we were talking about how you need to put together like a seminar or something like that on parenting.
Yeah, I kind of get a lot of my parenting advice from Ron White and the way he partakes on life and
From the comedian Ron
from
White?
the comedian Ron White. He's got a great bid. Where
Are
he's
you
like,
talking about tater salad?
tater
Ron?
salad? Yeah, tater salad. And it's like, kids nowadays, they blame it on guns and all that kind of stuff. Well, it's not, it's not a child problem. It's a parenting problem. They just need to bend, the kids over their knees and give them a good whooping every now and then. I think that'd solve a lot of problems.
All right,
in
for
America.
all you that don't speak BP, whooping means to beat your child. Either with the hand, a wooden paddle, or sometimes a leather belt.
The iron fist.
The wooden paddle stuff still going on these days?
Oh my God, my dad had a wooden pizza paddle that he kept under the kitchen sink.
Pizza paddle?
Yes, it was one of those like
What's
things
that
you
for?
flip a pizza over with. We got beatings.
Like this big?
I turned out all right.
Yeah.
He's right. It works.
36-inch pizza.
Yeah.
My dad,
Mom holds you down and he's just beating you.
Were you a fat child? Like you needed that big of a battle?
No, my dad was just that mean.
You just mean?
I had my dad one time. I got caught prank calling my cousin or something like that. I ordered a burrito on his answering machine or something stupid when I was a kid.
Okay.
My dad I was jumping on the trampoline having a good time. My dad's like, in the house. And I went in the house. He grabbed me and threw me over the bed, and somehow my pants went to my ankles at the same time. And he repeatedly lashed me. Mom came in the room. We're all in there crying and everything else. She was like, "What did you do?" And he was like, "We was prank calling, ordering burritos on answer machine." She was like, "That's it?" That was my story on
You
beating.
hellion.
Brandon turned out okay.
Yeah, I turned out
Yeah.
fine. I have not prank called and ordered a burrito ever since.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why we're both such consistent competitors. Is we were routinely beaten as children.
In a good way, though. I still love my parents very much.
There you go.
You know, and I would do anything for them.
If you're listening, Mom, I love you.
All right, so everyone that doesn't know you, that's listening to this on iTunes or over YouTube, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been competing in CrossFit since 2009, and I've been fortunate enough to make it to the games just like Shana since then. And you know, CrossFit's helped just change my life and help me, you know, grow as a person. And then plus I get to meet really cool people, and I finally get to be on a podcast. I never thought I would ever be on a podcast.
You have
Finally,
arrived.
been looking for it for
Yeah.
years.
You have
That's
arrived.
right.
I know. Stardom has arrived now. But other than that, though, I was working at a school for the past 5 years while training for the games, and now I'm opening up my own box, CrossFit Bound. It's going to be open here in 2 weeks or so, 2 or 3 weeks. I'm excited about that. It's going to be in Kennesaw, and I'm looking forward to, you know, changing lives in the box.
Yeah.
You know,
It's Kennesaw, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta.
right outside of Atlanta.
Okay. And I heard you got a pretty good space.
Yeah.
Used to be like a Globo gym, but you're gonna turn into a CrossFit gym.
I'm jealous because he has locker rooms.
Yeah, locker rooms, air conditioning,
Air conditioning.
unheard of.
Oh, what the
Yes,
fuck?
HVAC.
Yeah, I've heard stories about y'all's meat box up there, how
Oh,
cold
yeah.
it is, and then how hot
We,
it is. in
we
the
don't have
summer.
people fall out that often, but yeah, in the summertime, you walk out soaked to the bone in
Oh,
sweat.
yeah.
And
Absolutely.
what we actually do, as soon as it hits like 90 degrees, I don't do any conditioning sessions for like regular classes that last longer than 10 or 12 minutes.
I don't do anything that lasts longer than 10 or 12 minutes.
I mean, I personally don't, but I stopped programming like the long stuff because I feel like once you get to like the 15, 18-minute wads, and that's when people who may not be as conditioned will fall out when it's 100 degrees inside your place.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
for sure. But see, now I can do that in my place. So if you want to come to a really good gym, you can come to my place. In
It's a
Kennesaw
cool 66 degrees all the time.
year round.
You know what's going to happen is you're going to be having to pay that utility bill, and then you're going to have to like, your clients are, now they know that you have air conditioning, and you're not going to be able to lie to them. You know, because
Right.
if we had air conditioning, we would never let our members know about it, because I
You
wouldn't
just
want
have
to
to
pay
tell
that
them
bill.
it's broken. It doesn't work.
They're gonna be like, it's
Sorry.
been broken for 8 months, Brandon.
I'm just not as nice as Mike is. Like, I feel like
She's not as nice. That means that I lie and she doesn't. I think that's what that means.
no, we legitimately do not have air conditioning. But when June 1 hits, like it's 105 degrees in that place, and it's like hot CrossFit, like hot yoga, but CrossFit style.
Bikram CrossFit.
Yeah, that's what I was trying. That's what
There
it's
you
going
go.
for.
When people get naked in the gym.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one good thing
That's
about
how
it.
you get all the girls
how
to
you
take
gonna-
their shirts
I
off.
was going to say, how are you going to get the girls to take their clothes off if you've got air conditioning? That's ridiculous.
I got Jessica. She'll lead the way.
It's broken.
That's right. There you go.
AC is broken.
Jessica will lead the way. She does. If she just begins a workout, she's like Rich. Just the shirt comes off. I don't know why.
Cool. So that's going to open in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's going to open up in about 2 weeks right here. We finally got it, everything going, and
You're going to be open in 2 weeks?
I'm saying 2 weeks. I'm putting 2 weeks down.
That's fast.
Well, no, I've been working on it since January. So
It's
everything.
still really
February.
fast. It's February.
Hey man, hey, when you
I've been working on it for 2 weeks, so in
Yeah.
2 weeks it'll be done.
when
us,
when
like,
you got to
4
make
months
things
over.
happen,
Yeah.
you got to make things happen.
We
You
have
know?
a sense of urgency going on
There's
here.
a sense of urgency going
He
on.
opens gyms the way he CrossFits.
Yeah,
Fast.
it happens. It happens.
And
You could have made some other jokes there.
yeah.
Poor Jessica. Sorry, honey.
She's gonna be so mad.
So once you open, where in Atlanta is it going to be? Kennesaw?
It's gonna be in
I took my
Kennesaw.
headphones off for a minute.
Yeah, we've already discussed this. Thanks for coming back.
Yeah.
But no, it's going to be just north of Marietta, Kennesaw, probably about 40 minutes out of downtown Atlanta. A 4,500 square foot space. Like you said, we got locker rooms in there. It's going to be really nice, and I'm hoping, that we can get some really good CrossFit programming in there, and get some really good clients, and changing lives.
There being a ton of CrossFits in the Atlanta area. What is going to be different about your gym and set it apart?
That's one thing we've been talking about, because there is a lot of CrossFit gyms in that area, and what I want the gym to be is the best coached, best programmed gym in the entire state. I've been fortunate enough to be around some of the top coaches and top athletes in the sport, and some of the top businessmen that I get to sit with in the podcast, and just picking their brains about how to run a gym. Just picking their brains about the gym and find out what works and what doesn't work. But it's going to be, our gym is going to be solely focused on the client and what their need is, and just trying to change lives for the better in everything we do.
I wish more CrossFit gyms went into it with that mentality. I could be wrong, but I feel like a lot of times there's some half-assedness going on.
Oh, there's a lot of half-assedness going on. I mean, you walk into a lot of gyms, and all you see on a board every day is just some random Metcon they put together. Like nowadays, I mean, we know how to train energy systems. We know how to train a certain client. If some client needs to be scaled down to where they're not even touching a barbell or anything that day, then you need to do that. We don't need to force people to be in uncomfortable situations, because a lot of us are not games athletes. We all don't have to be in an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, probably like 99.9% of us are not games athletes.
Or competitors,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very small percentage. Like these people out here today, that's a small percentage of the population. And what I want to do is help that other 98% of the population and bring them up, and in the process, hopefully have a couple of really good athletes come out of the box.
Cool.
That's a good point too, because I think, you said there's some shenanigans going on lately. I think there's a movement towards people who are opening CrossFit gyms, and they think it's going to be a party all the time. Oh, I love CrossFit so much, I'm going to open up a CrossFit gym. Well, it's still a job, and a lot of times you open up a gym and you don't have time to work out, so you don't realize how much really goes into.
I'm going to talk a little bit about that tonight. It's like, what's your motivation to open up a gym, or what was your motivation, and what are some good motivations, and what are some not so good motivations?
Right.
A lot of times
people are like, I love CrossFit.
People are like, I hate my job and I love CrossFit. I'm opening a box, and you're like, I'm not so sure you've got the whole idea how this shit works. There's a little more that goes into it, and truth be told, that's kind of how I did it. I wasn't like a businessman when I started. Businessman. I wasn't into business when I started. I just loved CrossFit and I want to open a box. I wasn't trying to make money either though. But all that changed one day when I realized I was going to have to get a real job. I didn't have a job at the time. I was in school, just full-time student. And I was like, I'm going to have to get a job. My GI Bill's running out. And I was like, well, I guess we have to take this seriously now. And I think, but the thing is like most people who open a gym, when I talk to them, they have the same exact mentality I had when I opened mine. I was like, oh, you're going to be in trouble. Because a lot of people opened theirs up around the same time I did, and they didn't progress, I don't think. Or they're progressing slower, I don't know. So I think there's actually a big opportunity there to help teach other CrossFit gym owners how to run a good box, and an opportunity for, like, if to differentiate yourself in the market, possibly just running a good business in itself could help you, be different.
Right.
So
that's one thing that I think we try to do is be really organized about, how we deal with the clients. The day they come in, they have to sign up for classes. Classes start at a certain time. You can't just come in and grab some equipment and start working out. You have to be a part of the class. And I think that is different than the way a lot of CrossFit gyms operate.
You guys do fundamentals?
Yep, we do fundamentals. So we used to do, when we first, we opened up probably around the same time you guys did, almost. We're about to have our 5-year anniversary. But we've tried a bunch of different ways of bringing in new people, and there have been ways that we tried differently, and then we're like, this isn't working. We're going to go back to the old way that we did it. So
yeah, I think a lot of gyms like maybe they're not willing to experiment. And I think, like, you know, I think there was a CrossFit article, like, you know, the Groupon thing, like, you know, for some gyms in certain markets, it's going to be a good idea, and for some gyms, it's not going to be a bad idea. And, you know, you just got to experiment and try to see if that works. And the biggest thing there is having things to measure. Like, if you're not measuring, like, if you don't know how many people come to your website, how many people are signing up for newsletter, how many people that are signing up for your newsletter are actually coming in the gym, if you're not measuring those conversions, then you really don't know what's working. And I think a lot of times people go, they say, oh, we're going to try this Groupon thing. Well, I feel like there's more people signing up, or I feel like there's more people coming in.
Are you guys tracking those things, Mike?
We track everything. We track it a lot. Doug actually...
Do you guys do any print ads at all, or you do?
We don't. We have in the past. For us, in our market, we found that print ads just don't do nearly as well as our social media presence.
Yeah.
We do a fantastic job of social media presence. And actually, CTP here behind the camera, he is been doing a lot of studying, and he's got it pretty nailed down, especially with Barbell Shrugged. So not just with faction strength conditioning and our other gym, CrossFit Carterville, but with Barbell Shrugged, he's done a really good job of promoting us via social media. And I think every gym should learn how to utilize social media because it's free. And most people, especially in the beginning, have way more time than they do have money.
So you're tracking, you've gotten a lot of results from that, from social media. We have, I would say 95% of our incoming business is all referrals and word of mouth. And we tried the print ads too, and we got like 0 hits back because we were trying to track that, and we got nothing from it.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just that it's 2013 and people don't read print stuff anymore.
No, I don't think that's necessarily the case. My opinion on
social media.
Yeah, my opinion on print ads is that print ads are kind of like exercise. If you've never exercised before, you're going to try exercise and conclude that it doesn't work at all because you don't know what to do and you're not an expert on exercise yet. Print ads are the exact same thing. If you're an expert direct marketer and you know exactly how to write ads that convert, then I think you can get a lot out of that. But most of us didn't grow up being direct marketing salesmen, and so we don't know because we're brand new at it.
Yeah, if you see a CrossFit ad, it's probably terrible. Like not because you're a bad person, just because you're not a marketing person.
Right, you're probably a good CrossFit coach, but you suck at marketing. Well, I know the ITF guys, like the Iron Tribe Fitness that's in Alabama.
Yeah.
They've had amazing results with billboards and print ads.
Yeah.
But when they opened their gym, they had a guy come on that specifically did marketing, and that's all he did.
I've looked at that guy's marketing.
Yeah.
That guy's marketing is spot on.
Yeah.
It's very good.
It's pretty genius.
And he comes out of the direct marketing world.
Yeah.
You don't have to ask him that.
Yeah.
You can look at his ad and be like, oh, that guy has training in direct marketing.
He's done this before.
Yeah. Like if you read direct marketing books, if you read Tested Advertising Methods by John Caples or Ogilvy on Advertising, or like the classic books in marketing and advertising, you can look at his ads and be like, he's read those books and he's following their advice.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell, Doug loves to read marketing books.
I can tell.
I do.
Nerd.
It was funny when we first opened the gym, before Doug came on board, like I wasn't tracking anything. I was kind of going off of how I felt things were going. Like
that's me. That's
how many
what
members
I do.
do we have? Like, oh, I'll have to check and see how many members we have. I'll have to log into the system, see how many people we're billing, all this stuff. And then when he came on board, he's like, well, I'm going to make some spreadsheets, and we're going to start tracking this thing. I was like, man, that sounds hard. So he did it, not me.
I just show Mike the pretty colors and the way the line's going.
I just request at the end of the month, just show me some graphs and some pictures. I'm like, oh, that one's going up and that one's going down. Is that good? Oh, okay, cool.
I need a Doug. That's what my gym needs.
Every gym should have a Doug.
That's a part of his talk, actually. Like every CrossFit coaches and CrossFit gym owners, they all kind of run in the same category. They're very creative. They like a lot of variety. They get bored easily. They're type E entrepreneurs, and that's cool. But you got to have the balance between having the creative person and having the organized person.
Yeah.
The dynamic between the two works very, very well.
Yeah.
If I ran a gym, it would be super organized, but people would get sick of it because I would never change anything because I'd be like, this is the right way to do it, like this, and I'm never going to change. And then Mike comes in there and fucking always changes my shit.
Oh, you guys
but that's
are
good
like-
because people like it. Like
I don't think Mike knows what he's going to be doing this afternoon.
No.
I know he's gonna take a nap.
That's
I
right.
probably will take a nap. Yeah.
You guys are like yin and yang. So
That's
beautiful.
right. That's right.
It is. It
Balance.
is
I would
beautiful.
not describe beautiful.
Do you want a hug
Use the
right
word
now?
Beautiful to describe him.
My wife gets jealous on a regular basis. That's for sure.
Hot
Like,
dog?
yeah. She thinks that he's my soulmate, actually.
Oh, y'all have a bromance.
Bromance. That's right. That's the term for it.
Brother's got a hug.
And
There you go.
CTP is our child, actually.
I see the resemblance.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, that's right. He can't hear us.
He can't hear
us right now.
We're
He can
just
always hear
looking
us.
at you and laughing, that's all.
So you actually have that dynamic at your place. Like you focus primarily on training from what it sounds like. And then Matt and Jonathan, right,
Yeah.
do have more of a business role.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of fitness, but mostly business, especially talking to Matt, who I talked to mostly.
Yeah.
And so you have that dynamic between someone who focuses on fitness and creativity and making,
Yeah.
making being there a fun place to be, and then you have someone who organizes everything and makes sure that things get done systematically on time when they're supposed to get done.
Yeah,
Your
it's
fulfillment
actually
almost.
it's actually good now that we did get so busy that in the beginning I tried to do everything, and you just get to the point where your business can't grow if you don't delegate and hand things off anymore.
Right.
So Jonathan does the bookkeeping, and then Matt does the management stuff. And that really allows me the space to be creative. I can do the programming and try to keep it engaging and interested, whereas if I had my head full of all the numbers and all that stuff, I don't think I would have the energy to be as creative and try to keep people engaged in the workouts and not get bored. I don't want to program the same stuff all the time. I want to make sure they can never predict what's going to come on the next day. So it's really nice to have that freedom to be able to do that.
Yeah. Is that something that you've thought about? Do you have someone BP, do you have someone who's going to kind of be the other half? Like, are you more of a creative person or more of an organized person?
I'm neither one of those.
Neither one of those? You're everything but nothing?
Brandon doesn't know what he is.
Oh, no. I like to work out. That's all I do.
Oh, there you go.
No, I've got a couple
Hulk
of it.
lift.
I've got a couple.
That's right. Old smash.
Hulk smash.
I got a couple of friends that are going to be helping out, but I've been fortunate enough to have the investor in the gym. He was a Georgia Tech grad, and he's been recognized nationally for his business plans and business models that he's done for his company that he has now. Yeah. And he came over one night. We sat down for about 5 hours, and he created a cool spreadsheet with a lot of numbers on it and all that kind of stuff, a lot of colors.
Yeah.
Spreadsheets are scary.
I don't know what that shit means, but it looked good.
Yeah.
It's contagious on Doug now. He's talking BP.
That's right. I'm talking
There you
BP
go.
language.
And and so we sat down. He just kind of took me to school in the business world for that amount of time, and so it's going to be exciting working with him. And then I got another buddy of mine. I'm not going to say any names now without the gym coming up and all that kind of stuff, but he's very organized. He's very creative. He's going to be helping me out on a bunch of the inner aspects of the business world as well, especially with organization and all that kind of stuff of keeping up with clients and keeping up with the workouts and making sure I'm not staying in one path of the workouts, but being very diverse and being open and trying to keep it engaging for everybody involved.
Oh, good. That'll let you stay in your strength, which is fitness and coaching and all that, and they can take care of the business stuff, which may or may not have an interest for you.
I have no interest in that.
Yeah, that's perfect. You don't want to be doing all that stuff if you don't have an interest in it, because you're going to do it poorly.
Exactly.
You just give it to somebody else who's good at it.
I just hope to have athletes there to coach and people there to coach, and I know if I have that every class, then I know I'm doing something right.
Are you going to be the primary coach in the beginning?
As of right now, I'll probably be the primary coach. I just got offered a job as a strength conditioning coach for a school I was talking to you about the other day, and if they give me the right price, I'll probably take it. It's a great school, and I love everything they're about. And so then I'll take a back seat as a head trainer and let Jessica take over as head trainer. And I fully trust her as a trainer. I've seen her coach people. I've seen her coach Olympic weightlifting, which she's great at. I've seen her coach gymnastics, and then she's just a really good people person. She makes everybody feel welcome. So I have full confidence in her in doing that if I take this job.
Excellent.
Those are definitely two things I look for. You got to have a good personality, and you got to know how to do Olympic weightlifting. I've seen too many CrossFit coaches teaching a class, and they're doing the whole snatch wrong.
Yeah, you just cringe. You're like
no.
Well, what's funny is, go ahead.
I was gonna say, usually when we travel or we go out of town, we like to go visit a lot of different CrossFit affiliates just to see what's out there, what people are doing, how they're running their business, what their classes look like, and I think 9 times out of 10 we see what not to do instead of what to do. So I think there's something to learn, and like there's some really
Well, you know
I
what?
can't mention any names, but
now though, I was a part of the Outlaw Way, and I'm still good friends with Rudy, and I'm still involved with the Outlaw Way. And we started hosting camps, going around. And the first year we hosted camps, we were having Olympic weightlifting sessions, and we had to stop everybody, get PVC pipes out, break everything down. The second year we started doing camps, man, it was amazing to see some of these athletes come out, and some of the coaches that are producing these athletes. I mean, now we're seeing a consistent, 205, 225 snatch with guys that weigh 160 pounds, 170 pounds. I mean, that's awesome for the sport of CrossFit and the sport of Olympic lifting, which a lot of Olympic lifters, they hate the CrossFit sport, but we brought more notoriety to them. It's like a CrossFitter understands what a 315-pound snatch and how hard that is to get there, and they admire that for that individual. And I've seen a lot of really good things coming out of it, but then I've still seen those coaches that are trying to add it in, and then you're just like, man, go get some education, step back, let somebody else do it, or hire a good Olympic lifting coach.
You know what? 5 years ago, when we were running our gym and we were starting, and I was fumbling through trying to teach people how to do Olympic lifting, and I'd had a good coach, and I was not nearly, I look back on how I was teaching the Olympic lifts now. I'm like, oh my gosh, like those poor people. But you got to practice. You got to practice on somebody.
yeah.
But back then, the education wasn't as accessible. Like it wasn't as popular. And right now, I don't feel like you have the excuse to not go learn how to do this. There's no excuse to be trying to force everyone to do all these big snatches and stuff like that, and not have the education to learn how to teach it properly. There's
a lot of
There's a ton of books, websites, seminars online, DVDs, and
There's a lot of
you can travel.
Great weightlifting coaches who are doing seminars at really great price. We've got Glenn Penley coming to our gym in April.
Yeah, a lot of guys are traveling around.
$200.
He's pretty good.
I heard he
$200
was
for a day.
coach.
That's incredibly cheap.
I know, it's like nothing. It's a 2-day. So the first day is he covers technique and stuff, and then the second day he talks about coaching and programming. But $350 for a whole weekend to spend with Glenn Penley, or if you just want to do the technique part, $200.
Yeah.
To learn Olympic weightlifting
awesome.
from Glenn Penley,
No, it's well worth it.
sold
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, there's no excuse. There's too many coaches traveling around. Most towns have a weightlifting coach, someone you can go to. I personally, every 3 or 4 months, travel somewhere where there's high-level weightlifting going on. Sad to say, we probably have the highest level weightlifting in Memphis, so there's not another coach I can go to in my area, so I have to leave town, and so I do. And so if you live in a town where you're the best, you should be leaving town or inviting someone from out of town on a frequent basis. But if you're somewhere like Atlanta, there's a ton of weightlifting coaches that can really help you out.
If you're ever in Atlanta, go to Coach John Coffey's gym. That dude, he's the man.
I actually have never met Coffey before, but I've heard so many stories about him.
Oh,
I want a podcast with him. I heard it would be fantastic.
It would be epic.
Epic. With that, we're going to wrap it up. Got anything else you want to say, promote, Brandon?
Yeah, we got Walk for a Cause coming up down here, and raising money for the homeless in Gwinnett County, and CrossFit No Excuses is kind of hosting it. Kyle Maynard's going to be there. There's going to be a keynote speaker. Chad Vaughn's going to be there. It's going to be March 30th at the mall here in Suwanee, and look us up on the internet, Walk for a Cause, and it'd be a great thing to be a part of right here, especially bringing the CrossFit community together. I think they're trying to raise $100,000.
What's the website name? Watt for a Cause?
Watt for a Cause. Yeah, Google it. I got it right here. I know I should know it off the top of my head, but I don't. WattForACause.com. Put it up there. And it's going to be a really, really great thing. I can't wait to be a part of this. And like I said, my friends, Ben Davis and Kyle Maynard, they're putting it on. And those are really great guys. They got a heart to serve the people, their community, and the CrossFit gym. And we're looking forward to going out there and helping them out right now.
Very cool. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, welcome to Barbell Shrugged. We're still here at the Garage Games 1 event, podcasting with some athletes and coaches, gym owners, all that stuff. Doug and I
that's
are here.
just you.
And that's just me.
I like to talk about
Never
myself.
thought about it like that before. I am pretty eclectic and awesome. So I've Chris Moore took off on us. He's got family obligations. We have Doug Larson. Yay.
Yeah, that's me.
The mad scientist.
That's
He's
right.
actually, he has all the titles I have.
Plus some.
Yeah, probably.
But less nicknames.
Less nicknames, but he can also beat most people's asses.
And a shorter
Yes.
criminal record.
He has a much shorter criminal record.
He's been arrested a few times less than I have.
And I haven't been sued as much. Curiously.
Yeah, if you ever want to hear about how I got sued, you will never find out. So we have our guests.
Unless you listen to the podcasts already.
Oh, did I go over that?
I think you did.
Oh, well, all right. Sorry.
I just like that CTP's in the dark right now and he has no
Yeah.
idea what's going on. He's just guessing right.
Yeah, for the record, it's too loud in here for CTP to hear any of us speaking. The mics are picking us up for the show, but he's guessing who's talking.
He's doing a pretty good job. Our guest today is, well, kind of a guest, Matt Baird, recurring guest now,
Thanks for having me back.
and his fiance.
My lovely
Taylor.
fiance.
Yeah.
So I got into a bit of trouble the last time I was on this show because I didn't mention how much I loved her when Chris mentioned us getting married. So
We're gonna let you redeem yourself. Taylor, I don't want you to talk about yourself. I want Matt to talk about you.
oh god.
So this is gonna be tough for him, I know.
He's
But
like, she has brown hair.
She's
and-
fantastic.
tell us about your soon-to-be wife's athletic history.
Well, so here's the deal when we start talking about Taylor, is Taylor's she plays the humble, I'm not very good at sports and accomplished athlete, but Taylor, I don't know if you know, was a Division I swimmer at Georgia Tech in the ACC,
Ooh.
state and school record holder.
Damn, I
For
didn't
the
know that.
butterfly. Yeah, now she's gonna start getting red and kicking me. But Taylor and I guess her first CrossFit competition was the Faction Games. And I think she got like 7th
Yeah,
or
that's
something
right.
like that. And then her second CrossFit competition was the Southeast Regionals and she got like 11th or 12th. So she's pretty accomplished. Even though she says she claims to know everything, which she doesn't. And she leaves that up.
Debatable. It's
She
debatable.
leaves that up to me to
So
decide.
Taylor, what do you do for training?
I am coached by Matt Baird.
This is a dangerous.
Wow.
This is a word of wisdom and caution to any man. And Mike, I'm sure you can sort of
That's right. You're not supposed to coach the ones close to you.
I
This
know.
is, dude. It is one of those things where it's good some days and it's bad. I'll give you an example.
Oh
A
gosh.
couple weeks ago, we're kind of in the midst of or ending a specific cycle of our training, and Taylor's got a pretty weak thoracic spine. So she's got good levers for squatting, but she's not a good squatter, right? So she pulls me aside and is like, "Look, I need to squat more." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." You know what I mean? I was like, "We need to be careful about how much we do it, just based off CNS demand and where we are in the season. The fact that I'd love to have you squatting 4 days a week, but with conditioning needs where they are right now,
You're not
and the-
Mike Bledsoe.
and
it's gonna be
I
tough to squat 4 days a week.
yeah, and the open
I wish Chris
start
Moore
and the
was
open
here for this.
and the open starting, right? We gotta start at least getting into some conditioning and more skill work. But I was like, fine, we'll squat, especially coming off rest days when you're fresh and you're recovered. We can definitely squat. So I dial her up, like a pretty high volume amount of squats her first day, and she comes into the gym. And Taylor's been hampered by a little hip thing, which we've been trying to get out of her with some, dry needling options or some massage options or things like that. Trying to refer to some ART people. And she gets in there and is basically looking at me while I'm hanging rings in our new gym, like 30 feet up in the air on a fucking death ladder. And she's like, I can't do this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I can't do this. And she's like, I'm not gonna squat this much. I was like, you said. She goes, I don't want to squat this much. And I said, you told me yesterday that you needed to squat.
what are you talking about? And she's like, you don't get it. You just don't ever listen to me. You're a shitty coach and I hate you. And I was like, I'm shitty because I listened to exactly what you said. And she goes, yes, you're not supposed to listen to everything I said. And I said, but last week you told me I don't listen to you enough. So what I realized, and this is a
You should never coach your fiance.
that's number one. And number two, what I realized is this is a metaphor for all relationships, is that when you can kind of compare it to tennis. When guys play tennis, whatever's inbounds and out of bounds is always inbounds and out of bounds. It's like playing on a normal lined court. But when you play tennis with a woman, what's inbounds one day might be out of fucking bounds the next. And you're basically fucking taking shots and then looking over at her for approval of was that shot inbounds or out of bounds. And what I've realized is most of my fucking shots are out of bounds, buddy. Which is why this is an intervention, really, and this is not Barbell Shrugged, and I think Mike Bledsoe's going to coach you now. for free, because our family budget can't handle that.
Always read between the lines with women.
Oh my God. Or just don't coach them.
For Doug and myself, we actually, for the longest time, we had we tried to adhere to a pretty strict protocol that he would coach before I was married, it's like, you coach my girlfriends, and I'll coach your girlfriends.
Girlfriends.
It was perfect.
Girlfriends. Thank God Ashley Bledsoe's not on this show right now. my many girlfriends.
If you were at CrossFit Memphis 5 years ago, you would totally know what I'm talking about with the plural there. No, I'm just kidding.
It was a different world before you got married.
Oh my God.
For everybody.
For everybody. That's right. We were all having way more fun.
Back when we lived at the gym.
That's right.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Literally.
When we slept above the office, things were different.
Oh, that place was cool though.
That place was cool.
So let me ask you this: who coaches Marcy and who coaches Ashley?
Yeah, the unique thing about Marcy and Ashley is that actually you do coach Ashley quite a bit, and I do coach Marcy quite a bit. That's how we know they're the one. They listen. I'm kind of concerned about you two right now.
Oh my God! Well, you know what they say: the couple that trains together gets divorced quickly.
That's right. I've definitely had girlfriends in the past, but that shit was a problem.
Yeah.
Well, you know what
it's gotten pretty well with Marcy.
You know what it is, dude, Taylor's a great athlete, but she doesn't know shit about training.
True statement.
I was waiting for a backlash.
Yeah, I thought she was going to be like,
No, she doesn't.
No,
she
I
doesn't.
don't know anything.
But she lives with me. And what happens is she catches some of my verbal diarrhea, and then she's smart, so she starts to pick up on it.
I'm good at bluffing that I know
So
what I'm
she's
talking
got an
about.
incredible poker
bullshitter.
face. She's got an incredible poker face.
You got to throwing out Matt Baird buzzwords like CNS demand and hamstring intelligence, but
Yeah.
you don't know what the
God.
hell he's talking about either.
I don't have a clue.
Well, the funny thing is, neither do I. But I have to convey that to everyone I come in contact with that I'm not bullshitting.
I want to put a reality TV show in your house.
Oh.
Oh, I'd love it.
So can we talk about that?
No. We can't talk about it.
So, dude, let me ask you guys this: with y'all being coaches, obviously, and I'm very outspoken about local events, right, and sort of quality control in local events. How do you guys feel about what you've seen here today, and about not really athlete levels, but just how do you guys feel? So, like, for example, you may or may not agree with what you see at a CrossFit HQ competition or regional, right? But at the end of the day, the pinnacle of my sport is the games, right? So it really doesn't matter whether you agree with it or not, because that's the standard they're setting for their sport. So it's almost like they have the right to do that. So you can say, oh, well, running 1,000 meters with a 70-pound dumbbell over your head is dumb, but if that's what they want to test those athletes, that's what they're going to do.
Right.
Whereas the local competition opens itself up to a bit more criticism. What do you guys think about these things and where they're going and what you've seen? Is it quality? Or do you think they're kind of going for more like a shock and awe and just kill you? Or is there any intelligence, do you guys think, to these things?
I mean, truth be told, for this event, it looks like Garage Games is growing a ton, so they must be doing something right. But
looks really
for this
cool.
particular event, like we were in the expo hall speaking all day yesterday. This morning we had a breakout session where we took people into a private room and did some kind of one-on-one, small group business coaching and mobility coaching. So we've been doing a lot of things besides simply watching the competitors.
Yeah.
I see them over there working out, but I actually haven't seen what one single WOD was today. I have no idea what the flow is. I didn't even know that there was like individuals on the first day and team on the second day. So I really haven't been watching that much. So it's hard to criticize when I really don't even know what the hell they're doing over there.
Right.
We're just kind of hanging out and you know, letting people know about Barbell Shrugged.
Yeah,
I don't know. What do you think?
I'm in the same boat as Doug. Like, I haven't got to watch a whole lot of what's going on. I have talked to quite a few athletes. I actually have not heard a lot of complaints from like high-level athletes that have been competing. I haven't heard anyone like really bitching about, you know, oh, it was so not fair that this or that happened. That I didn't really get a lot of that. What I do think is really cool is like the evolution of the sport.
Yeah.
I've been coming to the Garage Games. I think since the Garage Games started like 3 or 4 years ago. I think it's been going 4 years now. I think it was 08. Was it 08? I don't know.
Yeah, it was
Long time.
I think it was 09.
09 was the first year. The only year I didn't come and be involved in one way or another was last year, but every year it's improved. Every year, I mean, there's an evolution of the sport. And one thing you got to keep in mind is if the bigger the competition, the harder it is to have that quality control that you're kind of referring to. And this is a big competition. People look forward to this all year round. And this is a competition that a lot of people, it's like their first one. It's a great way to like get people into it because they have multiple ways to scale things. So for this, what I find Garage Games is a lot of fun because of the people.
Yeah.
Like what I look forward to when it comes to this is being able to hang out with everybody. And that's one reason we wanted to come here is because we knew that we were going to hang out with a bunch of our friends.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a good vibe here.
That and you owed me money and I owed you plates.
That's right.
And I'm here to collect.
That's a bonus. Well, you owe me bumper or plates for the bar. Bro.
You know what's
but
weird?
if you want it, this is anything in life. If you want the highest quality, you're gonna have to go to the event that serves the smallest amount of people.
Which is gonna be a regional.
There's a qualifier to get in.
Yep.
You know, there's the OC Throwdown is an example of that. You know, they only took 60 guys. You know, it's like well, that is obviously the quality control can be practiced there at a level that's not possible here. So you're kind of, you know, there's competitions for everybody. So that serves a specific type of athlete, and this serves another type of athlete. So I don't like to compare different. I just say this thing is different than this thing.
Yeah.
And so like
it's apples to oranges.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, especially too nowadays, you got like judging courses that you have to take, whereas it used to be like my mom could judge me if she was available. So
hey mom, can you watch my depth on the wall balls?
I know. What's a wall ball?
Well, you know what's weird.
Count my
man,
double unders.
Good
luck with that.
I am not as active in the competitive arena as some other CrossFit competitors.
You're saying you don't compete as frequently is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Ever.
You save it all up. You save your load for the one big WOD at the end of the year.
Exactly. And yeah, well, dude, I'll tell you a funny story.
He saves his load for when it matters.
I was telling Taylor in the car. That I was watching her warm up the other day, and I was getting all like,
oh god,
oh man, you know,
I can't believe he's bringing
you know what
this
I mean?
up.
And I was coaching. It was the night y'all were there at my new gym, and I was coaching my class, and we were doing the WOD from the 2011 regional, the end WOD, the chipper that ends with a walking lunge and then a sprint. So I'm explaining where and sort of demonstrating where to lunge to and then where to sprint, and I'm all at the same time like watching Taylor warm up and getting all like, oh yeah, I'm a dirty old man. And and dude, as someone asked me a question about where to lunge to, and so I grabbed the plate and started lunging, and I go, yeah, and you're gonna drop your I'm gonna drop my load here. And everyone in the class looked at me because I was like looking at Taylor. She didn't know I was looking at her. I'm all talking about dropping loads. You know what I mean? And then I looked at the class and I was like, yeah. Sorry about that.
It's so inappropriate.
Yeah, you're gonna have to train somewhere else.
I know.
But no,
So
you know what's
bad.
weird is I was talking about these, kind of digress for a second. I was talking about these sort of local throwdowns. And, you know, with me not competing, I kind of like to train, man. Like, you know, and the environment doesn't have to be perfect. I kind of used to be like that. Like, I used to want everything to be perfect. so I could have like perfect training results, you know, and in the essence of CrossFit, it's obviously not going to be like that. So that's not important to me as much anymore, but I don't compete really at all. I kind of train for not the open, but for the regional. So everything I do is day to day, you know, did I get better today? Am I better prepared for tomorrow? And it's all about peaking for that, you know, that regional. We can talk about peaking on another episode or whatever if I don't get kicked off today. But but the thing about it is I lose sight. There's another world outside of top level CrossFit competitions. Like, of course of course there are more competitions than just regionals, right? But I lose sight of the fact that, like, dude, the community, like, some of these people may never even dream of going to a regional, or they might not be talented enough, or they might just not be what they want, right? But they still want to be out there using their fitness in sort of a fun way, you know what I mean? Using it on a competitive level. And sometimes when I walk into these places, I'm amazed at how many of these people, right? Because you think CrossFit is such a small community, you know? It's like I know every single individual competitor at the Southeast, right? You know what I mean? And I'm sure Mike, when he goes to the Central East, knows every single one there. But dude, there's people here that I've never even seen in my life, that have never seen me or never seen you, dude. And they've been doing CrossFit for just as long or anything.
They've seen me.
Well, they know.
Do you know who I
Forget
am?
who you're talking about. Forget it.
But it's just, dude, it's amazing. Like you said, the evolution of the sport, and the fact that, dude, this is from where it was in 2009 to where it is now. I mean, dude, we are in, kind of paint the picture, we're in like a like 4 basketball court sort of gymnasium sports academy, and they've got like 4 different WODs going on at once. You know what I mean? I mean, this is crazy.
Pretty
man.
cool.
I've never even seen anything like that. And that's why I bring up the thing of quality control. Is, you know, with an event of this size, can you really have quality control? You know what I mean?
I think there's been a big learning curve on that, because that's been a big. I've never heard that not be complained about. Even at like the at regionals, people complain about one judge, you know, being unfair over another judge or something like that.
Well, I also think, dude, that's just because of the fucking stakes. It's high stakes, dude. Especially if you think you're going to the games.
That's the thing is, at no level is it not complained about.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
at that level, the stakes are really high, and when the stakes aren't as high, maybe the quality control isn't as adhered to or something like that. No matter what, and plus, nobody's gonna blame themselves, the athlete, for fucking up a WOD.
Well, definitely not me.
That was definitely your
Definitely not my fault.
I can't believe it. He totally took those awesome reps
counted.
away from me. You know what I mean? Like that. How many athletes walk around and be like, man, I really hosed that one up? Now I hear the whole.
I've done that. I've done
as soon as an athlete starts complaining about, and me as a coach, I do it myself, so I'm not exempt from that. I'm not like. There's been a couple of times where athletes, you know, I feel like they're getting cheated by a judge, and I'm out there screaming at the judge. I'm not going to be.
2011, Mike McGoldrick.
That's right, dude. He got robbed. So like, but anyways, I mean, there's instances of that, and yeah. But what's really cool is what was happening 3 years ago on the judging level across the board, from the smallest competition to the biggest competition. Across the board, it's all gotten better.
Yeah.
Everyone's much more knowledgeable, and I'm looking forward to how it goes in the future. So we're gonna have to wrap this up real quick. Matt, I want you to go ahead and promote what you want to promote.
The fact that I'm a Barbell Shrugged and CrossFit North Atlanta remote coach.
You do remote coaching through barbellshrugged.com.
I do remote coaching.
You do offer that service. So what does that service entail?
Well, basically, you know, I was on a previous episode of Barbell Shrugged, and sort of the sentiment I tried to create was that, you know, you've got a myriad of options as an athlete, and we'll use a CrossFit athlete as kind of an example. You know, you've got OPT, you've got Outlaw, you've got CrossFit New England, right? And you've got, you know, all these different available resources, and all of them are great, right? The fact that there is somebody out there creating a template for athletes to make their game progress is better than just people taking shots in the dark, especially because I think it takes a sort of esoteric individual to really coach themselves efficiently, right? You know, I coach other athletes, but I need a coach for me, right? And that's something that I believe highly in. But basically, at the end of the day, what I kind of got to was that, you know, all these online blogs are great, but if you have the aspiration of of sort of maximizing your individual fitness based on your genetics and your potential and the way you move, or improving all of those things, right? At some point, you're going to need a coach. Now, it might take 6 months. It might take 6 years for you to make that decision. You know, I followed OPT and I programmed for myself, and it got to the point where I was a very high-level competitor and very successful, and I, you know, basically barely missed the games on a general blog format. But it got to the point where for me this year, after 3 years of that, 2 years of that, it's like, okay, now it's time for me. I've maximized my potential without having this individual format, and that's basically what I'm trying to bring to the table. And that's not just for CrossFit athletes. I coach professional football players, I coach baseball players, I coach endurance athletes, I coach ultra endurance athletes, okay? And the idea is that in order to really reach this sort of this self-actualization, this maximum potential, to optimize your potential, you are at some point going to need a coach for you, because you might feel like shit on a Tuesday, Doug, and Mike might feel great, and all of a sudden I've got dialed up something where you feeling shitty is going to be really hampered by what we do, right? And Mike, you might thrive and you might fail, and we might set your training back 2 weeks mentally and physically because, you know what, Doug should not have been, you know, maxing deadlift today, whereas Mike should have been. You know what I mean? So it's that idea of that more hands-on, that individualized approach, that individualized format, that consistent back and forth, and that communication that helps us sort of evolve the individual's prescription, right?
So if somebody wants that individual prescription, what should they do?
They should either go straight to thefitortv.com.
Go to barbellshrugged.com. We've made it easy for people now.
Right, so why don't you go ahead and explain it, because I'm obviously butchering it.
Dummy. Yeah. If you're interested in hiring Matt Baird, go to barbellshrugged.com, click on shop, and then click on remote coaching, and then he's listed there. If you want more information, you can email Matt Baird at
matt@crossfitnorthatlanta.com.
If you live in Atlanta, you should train
at CrossFit North Atlanta, but you should keep your hands and eyes off my beautiful fiance, because I'll slit your throat. And I love her so much.
But he's a nice guy. You should hire him.
I love her so much.
That's a mass threat. Is that like a...
That's right.
All right, we're going to wrap this up. See y'all next guest.
A threat in the membership.
All right, Mike Bledsoe back here at the Garage Games 1 event with Doug Larson. We're sitting down with Emily and Emily. They both placed 4th at regionals last year, but in different regions. So, was it got Emily Friedman?
Yes.
And Emily, last name?
Bridgers.
Bridgers and Friedman. And how did y'all are no longer in the different regions this year?
No, I moved down here to Atlanta about 4 months ago, so I'm now going to be a Southeast athlete, and actually feel really lucky that I have a gym where we've got some really good female athletes, and especially, you know, just really, really nice to have that, you know, coming down here.
What gym are you training at?
We both train at CrossFit RX.
Okay.
Oh, so you're both in the same gym?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are y'all like battling it out every day? Are you training together, or how's that working out?
Well, for the most part, we follow different programs, but we'll occasionally do the same workout, and we actually just started meeting up a little more often to work out at least twice a week together.
Yeah.
So you're doing different workouts. Do you have different coaches?
Kind of. You know, I think it's tough to have, you know, I have a coach in New York who's still doing some of my programming, but it's also really nice to have people here who see you every day. And so MB's coach, Ben, has been also, it's just, you know, extra eyes, and it's great too, because she can kind of coach me as well, and that's why it's great to be able to work out together sometimes. Sometimes we can do the same WOD and compete, and other days just to be around good energy, where it's like, you know, I can ask her to look at something, and you know, it's just a good push, even if we're not doing the same workout.
She's got evil eyes, I can tell. I think she's probably sabotaging you.
I know.
I'm totally not sabotaging anyone.
Oh yeah, your form looks so good. You're doing good. Just keep doing it like that. Yeah.
It was a great snatch you did. Yeah. No, it's good. It's been a good environment for us, and I switched gyms since last year, and I'm around a lot more competitors. I don't work out by myself every day, so that's been a big change for me.
So did you move down here to intentionally switch regions?
Yes.
I know some people have been doing that. Like they just want to get out of the region and go to a new region.
Well, I was planning to move to Africa, but
Oh,
I'm just
really?
kidding. That's really not PC.
I was like, no way, I just got
that.
back from Africa.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I did not plan this move. Actually, I thought I would probably move after this competition season, but things happened a little faster then. And so, just go with it and kind of try to adjust to, there's a lot of great athletes down here, but, we'll see what happens.
So are you going to keep your coach for the next couple of months until you're out of the competition and then switch for next year, or is that something that you're planning on keeping it for the long term?
No decisions have really been made on that. Like I said, it's coach that I'm working with now started me in CrossFit, so he really, really knows me well as an athlete. But there's something also I think important about being present and seeing movements and just being like by your by your athlete's side. So nothing's been really decided. I'm just kind of trying to focus on the next few months, and then we'll see. So
yeah, has it really been that difficult? Being removed from your coach, you got to send him videos now, or how do you handle that distance?
A little bit, just like good communication mainly, and I feel like I'm still a newer athlete, but I'm far enough along to know when things are not going well, and to just say like I need extra work on this and that, or So
is it really more about the accountability of that coach, or is he actually making changes in your workouts?
No, makes changes. If I say my snatch is really not going well and I'm not hitting these numbers, and he's there, we're going to back off and work on snatch balance for a while, or this, so yeah.
Okay. All the attention's been on her. We're not neglecting you.
Okay.
The evil eye joke Mike gave you.
What was the last year the first year that you both competed, or how long have y'all been doing CrossFit?
I've competed for 2 years. I started CrossFit in 2010, and then my first regionals was 2011. I think I got 9th in 2011 and then 4th last year.
Okay.
So I've been around, sort of. Yeah. I still feel new. I still feel like there's room to grow.
Okay. How old are you?
25.
20. Oh yeah, definitely.
Youngin.
That's right. You're young.
So what changes did you make this year that you're hoping will kind of push you into the next level?
Well, I changed gyms, so different training environment. I still have the same coach, and now we're dating, so my coach knows pretty much everything about me. So that's been a really good thing. And I've just focused on all my weaknesses, a lot of Olympic lifting. The hang clean workout last year at regionals killed me, and I've focused a lot on cleans. And just being more efficient at skills. Like I was just really stubborn. I was a stubborn athlete. I never kipped my handstand push-ups until after regionals last year. I didn't kip a ring dip until 6 months ago. So I'm just trying to be more open-minded. Still haven't made the switch to butterfly pull-ups because I hate them. But just trying to be smarter and improve on my strength numbers without getting weaker in like my good areas at the same time.
Are you doing any swimming in your training?
I haven't done any swimming. I had a back injury about 4 years ago, and all I did was swim. So I'm confident in my swimming ability, but definitely if I were to make the games, I would start swimming, but I'm pretty sure that's not coming up at regionals. However, I think that I should start incorporating some swimming, maybe on the weekends.
Gotcha.
So
MF, how long have you been doing CrossFit? And how long have you been competing?
I started September of last year, so going into regionals was like a really new experience for me. It was actually like my second competition. Actually, I placed 6th, not 4th. Gotta be honest. But
somebody misinformed me.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't even know why I have you on the show now.
I know, exactly. But yeah, so I guess I'm still kind of a newer athlete, but I definitely feel my strength was probably my weakness. My gymnastics, I feel like have come along pretty well, pretty quickly. Like considering like I don't have any gymnastics background, and I'm more like I'm a runner, so my decent lungs and my strength is really what killed me. So I've just spent a lot of time on that and trying to. My motto is every day you have to do something that you hate and something you love, because what you hate makes you better, and what you love is like why we do what we do. There
you go. So specifically upper body strength's been something you've been working on lately?
Both, actually. My front squat a lot.
Yeah, I did 10 reps at 175 the other day. That was good.
Wow.
Damn, that is really good.
It's good for me. It's good for me.
Badass.
Got some
That's
strong
badass.
girls.
That'll be good for regionals for sure. I mean, that's the type of strength you're going to need.
Yeah.
You guys cannot beat Shana Alverson though.
You don't think so?
No, you
know,
can't.
No, he doesn't want you to.
Shana and I both live in Decatur, and everybody always says, "Are you going to beat Shana this year? Are you going to beat Shana this year?" I'm like, I am not focused on anyone else.
Well, I only say that because I'm coaching her this year.
Oh, are you?
There you go.
So I don't want you to. Don't beat her. This whole podcast is actually set up to sabotage you both.
I know you're taking all of our secrets
You're
right
just-
now.
All right, I see how it is.
So, what other training secrets do you have? No, I'm just kidding.
I eat donuts before every workout.
That's right.
The sabotage is going both ways.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I just feel like my mentality's changed a lot. Like, when I first started, I think I had that, like, puppy dog. Like, you know, I would skip rest days and, like, not tell my coach because I just wanted to be so good yesterday. And now, you know, everyone says it. Like, if you don't do the right things and you don't take rest, it'll catch up to you. And so I think, to be totally honest, like, I love my rest days now. And, like, I make sure that I'm treating my body better, you know, and it's kind of, I'm at that point where it's like I have to stretch, I have to take rest days, and so that's been a big change for me.
I'm the same with rest days. I remember I used to say like, oh, I've been 18 days on and I'm going strong, and now I'm like, it's been 3 days. I think it's time for a rest day, and I enjoy it to the fullest extent.
How frequently do y'all train every week? Like, do you have like 5 training sessions? Are you having like 12?
Well, usually I have 2 rest days a week. And it just varies, either Wednesday and Sunday or Thursday and Sunday. But sometimes I fall behind and like miss a workout, and then I'll make it up on a rest day. So either 5 or 6 days I'll train.
You do 2-a-days at all? 3-a-days?
I don't do 2-a-days much anymore, just because my work schedule doesn't allow it. But if I can, I do.
Yeah. What about you?
I would prefer to lift, or I would prefer to WOD in the morning and lift in the afternoon, but I can't.
Oh, really?
I can't always do that.
Why is that? I feel like a lot of people say the opposite.
Yeah, I don't know, because I hate lifting.
Okay. Really?
I don't know.
Oh, you think you want to knock it out early?
I like to wake up with a WOD and loosen up, and I don't know. I like to get the intensity out of the way so then I can just relax and focus on technique but not be worried about spending too much time working on my lifts, I guess.
I like to do things. I like to do conditioning first thing in the morning at maybe a 65% effort. That's about it.
I don't like to work hard.
Is that your other training secret? Yeah.
That's actually my one big training secret to get both of you is to do everything at 65% intensity.
Okay. All right, I appreciate that.
Maximum results.
But really, that's one thing I don't understand in training is when people say do this at 80%. I'm like, what is that? I don't understand how to go at 80%. But
I would tell you, but
I understand.
You're the enemy at this point.
You can't go full intensity every day.
I would say less experienced athletes, if you haven't been training, strength and conditioning for a really long time, you can hit it pretty hard, pretty frequently, and get really good results out of it. It's usually the people that have been training for years and years and years. They're the ones that are having to dial it back a little bit on the intensity. So
yeah. One thing I do notice, in terms of being able to compare my scores with other people every day now, is that you can't really look at if you can't be crazy about looking at other people's scores, you just have to. It's a day of training, and it's not you won or you lost today. It's just you do what you did with how your body feels that day.
Yeah. Not every day is a test.
Well, I agree.
It's okay just to train.
And I've had to learn that this year.
I think it's also we're at a gym now too where we have, in my opinion, we've got 4 female athletes who could easily. Not easily, but who have the potential to finish top 15.
It's so easy.
Well, that's we have some really good female athletes, and so it's tough to every day be on the clock and every day be competing. So my mentality sometimes is I go in and I have goals for myself. I'm doing all of these sets unbroken, or I'm what I mean. Some days and I'm a competitive person, so I love Emmy. She's actually become a really good friend to me down here, and but. It's tough to every day be trying to beat everybody else. Some days I just want to move. I just want to enjoy it, and I want to move, and I want to do untimed rounds of rope climbs and handstand walks and just have fun with it. So I think it's important for me as an athlete. It's important to have the balance of pushing hard and trying to kick everyone's ass, and then just be in the gym having fun like it's a playground, you know. So I mean,
that's the time that you really like get better at the skill itself. When you're just playing, you're trying new things. You're not worried about, well, I want to try a different technique, but I don't know, I don't want to slow down because I want to win. You're just out there having a good time, and that's when people really learn, because they're willing to try something that's brand spanking new because they're not worried about how fast they're going for the time being.
Yeah,
then you can
agree.
WOD afterward.
I agree.
Yeah. Good?
It's good.
All right.
You guys have anything you want to promote? You have any sponsors or anything like that?
Well, I follow the Squat Mafia program. If you guys want to check out our Squat Mafia blog, my coach is Ben Benson, and he comes up with our program.
Squat Mafia?
Yeah,
I never
Squat
heard of that.
Mafia.
What is Squat Mafia?
Yeah, that's new to me.
Is that a website?
Well, it's our blog, and
Okay.
it's a competitor's blog. About 15 of our competitors follow it. Em does it sometimes, but she's on and off.
It's really
But
good. It's
basically,
really good stuff.
Ben has done my program since day one that I started CrossFit, and then this year he was like, well, I'll still do your program, but I'll do it in a more comprehensive way to where other people can do it too.
Okay, very cool. And one more time, what was the gym? If you're in the Atlanta area, what gym should they go to?
CrossFit RX.
CrossFit RX. Okay. You guys have any personal blogs or anything like that?
Not yet, but we should make it. We should join forces and make. Just kidding.
Twitter
There you go.
handles. You guys have Twitter handles?
Yes.
I don't use Twitter. I'm so behind.
OMG.
I know. Maybe I'll go home and do that later.
There you go.
What's your
All
Twitter
right.
handle?
It's Emily Friedman CF, I think is what that is. I'm so bad with that stuff. I can't even remember my own phone number sometimes.
I post most of my scores on the Squat Mafia blog.
All right, check that out, guys. All right, thank you.
Thanks,
you
guys.
You're like sweaty.
Hey, good job.
All right, we're back at the Garage Games 1 event. I'm Mike Bletzer with Doug Larson.
Yeah.
We're interviewing Molly Metz. She is a jump rope master.
That's where you jump in and say, that's right. I am.
That's right. I mean, we're done. I'm a jump rope
That's it.
master.
That's all you gotta know
Master of
about.
jumping rope.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing here at the event?
Yep, so I'm here with my company, Jumpin' Rope, here at the Garage Games. We represent jump rope in a whole. We're a manufacturer of jump ropes. We're competitive jump roper trainers. I've been a competitive jump roper for 30 years. What that means, I can show you later, what that entails. But my history started when I was 7 years old. A jump rope team came to my school, and I was totally amazed. So I joined the team. A year being on the team, I made the international traveling team. I went to Panama as an 8-year-old, and from the age of 8 to 14, I traveled to over 35 countries. So
Wow.
It was an awesome childhood, and I got a lot of knowledge and a lot of understanding of jump rope and a lot of passion around that. So I started jump rope with the idea to inspire kids to jump rope all the time, and that it's a sport and not just a playground activity. So it's been 6 years that Jumpin' Rope has been in existence, and we're in over 100 locations in Colorado for jump rope in schools and rec centers. And then I was introduced to CrossFit 15 months ago. A friend came to me and said, I do CrossFit. And I said, what is that? And he said, I'll come to my gym and come help us with double unders. And I laughed, and I was like, double unders? That's like a warm-up for us. What's with the double under?
Okay, so that's the joke to you guys. Like, it's easy.
Yeah, we do hundreds of double unders to warm up.
It's just a given that you can do double unders.
Yeah, we do triple unders in our competition. So I can do 150 triple unders in a row consecutively. So
Holy shit.
it's no problem.
What does a jump rope competition look like?
It sort of looks like a gymnastics competition. We have different events like the beam and the floor, but we don't have those. We have speed, which is alternating your feet as fast as you can. Then we have double unders, triple unders, obviously.
Yeah.
That's our power. And then we have freestyle, which is crosses music, choreographed gymnastic skills, and all sorts of things like that.
Yeah, I saw some of you guys doing double unders while doing flips.
Right. So
Like
you
backflips.
see like backflips, double unders, yeah.
How did I
all mixed
miss
in together.
that?
It was cool.
We're gonna do it again in about 5 minutes, actually.
You're gonna do a flip?
Yeah. Don't you see them looking over here? They're like, "What are you doing?"
They're like, what are you doing over
yes.
here? You're messing up our schedule.
This
No,
will be
Perfect.
awesome.
We can get some footage of that and
You can
and
totally get some
plug it right
footage
in.
of that. Yeah, plug it in.
Okay, so for
I'm
all,
excited.
for all the people that listen to our show that are new to CrossFit and new to doing double unders and that would never even consider doing triple unders, what are like some easy tips on how to get their double unders more consistent?
Yeah, so the first tip is, what rope are you using? There's so many people that will pick up a speed rope. The speed rope is
because the one you go online, you're like, I need the fastest rope out there, and that's pretty much your
Of
first
course.
mistake, right?
Yeah.
You want to be cool. You pick up this light rope.
Well,
And
I learned how to drive with a Ferrari, so.
I mean that, right?
Same thing,
bad
right?
Bad news,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Okay.
That speed rope is light. It's really inconsistent. It's rigid, and so it's really you can't work on form, and you cut it long, and that's just where things start breaking down. So yeah, starting with rope, the right length, and working on that. Technique though is finding yourself in the right zone. The right zone meaning putting your hands on your hips and finding them in a nice rectangle. So we put your hands on your hips, everybody. Do it. Okay, you're gonna move your hands from your hips 6 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out 3. Back in 6, and back in 3. So you just made a little rectangle, and notice that you have a little bend in your elbows. That's where your hands can live when you're doing single unders, triple unders, double unders, whatever, right? So we have this nice little bend here. We're able to sort of open up our shoulders. So a big misconception is that those arms are out, right? And you see a lot of athletes out here, push, 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 push,
Oh,
push,
yeah.
bringing the rope down because they have this huge rope anyway.
The rope's too
Have it-
long.
Right, and then, they have to bring it down, they're stretching their arms out, they're using their shoulders, and they're like, oh my gosh, look at me. And they probably look like a dolphin
So
too,
if
right? Taking those
if
legs
someone's
up.
jumping rope and they're getting fatigued, where should they be feeling fatigued?
Yeah.
Should it not be in the shoulders?
All of their fatigue should be happening in the forearms, pushing with those wrists.
So if you're getting fatigued in your shoulders,
there's something wrong.
you're screwing it up.
Yeah, unless you're using a heavy rope, which we did have that heavy rope that we threw in for the competitors this
Oh,
weekend.
yeah.
So it's a struggle between technique and strength.
And what's your standard for rope length? How do you tell?
A standard check-in is just to stand on your rope with 2 feet, pull the ropes up to your armpits. Typically, that's standard. What we'd like to see from athletes is about 2 inches down.
Okay.
There's no such thing as a custom rope. Is there a custom workout in CrossFit? I don't think so, right? You never know what you're going to do, right? You do Annie, you have nice tight abs, and your form should stay tight, so your rope should stay short. But throw it in with something else, some overhead squats and some pull-ups, you're going to be pretty tired. Your form might fail, so you need to have some adjustability with your rope.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you were competing, or do you still compete?
I still compete. I am the oldest competitor on the U.S. team. The U.S. team is composed of 50 to 100 athletes that go, and we do the world competition.
So do you have like a specialty, or
yeah,
do you
my
compete
specialty
on
is
all
speed.
of them?
Yeah,
Okay.
I still do freestyle, which is the gymnastics. You'll see me do a few things today, but I have really fast feet, and I'm just a quick speed jumper. So
What type of music do you do freestyle to? Do you do like dubstep? Or
these guys do dubstep.
Oh, for real?
really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I want to see that.
I'm coach now. I mean, with freestyle stuff, I'm coaching. I have one of the largest teams in the nation. We have about 85 kids on our team. Ages range from 5 to 40.
So what's your favorite music to do freestyle to?
I don't know. I like techno, I guess.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like
I feel
a
like
heartbeat.
techno and jump rope go together.
That
They
makes
kinda go
sense.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what'd you do before there was techno, or was techno always around?
This is gonna sound really dorky, but I like the 50s music.
What?
Oh yeah.
It's like so boring. I like rap too.
Mr. Conway Twitty.
Can you
The Big Bopper.
can you jump rope to Dick Dale?
I don't know. I don't.
Surf rock?
Maybe.
No.
I could jump rope to anything. Let's make it happen. Now you're making fun of me.
No, I'm not. No. I'm gonna go see Mr. Dick Dale in a couple months, and I just wanted to
Maybe just see if it fits. Yeah.
Because
Well,
I didn't think that 50s music would work with jumping rope, but techno made sense. So I was wondering if maybe surf music.
The 50s music, it's got that beat. It just keeps going, right? It's easy.
I don't know 50s music. I'm not sure what she's talking about.
She's they're like, how old
Oh
is
my
she?
God, what's going on here?
Well, that's
I thought
the
she was
only,
like
that's
30
the only-
something.
No. Seriously though, the surf rock is the only 50s music I listen to. That's why I was asking.
Fine. I'll send you some links to some good 50s music.
There you go.
Awesome. We should be able to share those.
All right, so we're effectively way off topic.
I know.
I'm good at
if
that.
people want to hear more about jumping rope, or they want to buy some of your products, where can they go? What's your website?
Yeah, my website is my company named jumpandrope.com.
Jump N?
in the letter N rope.com. Yeah. So, again, the company was founded with the intent that we are competitive jump ropers with the foundation of competitive jump rope, and that's where education spears from. We're not just a manufacturer of jump ropes that's like, oh my gosh, look at our jump rope and use it. We just I happen to have designed a jump rope technology 4 years ago that sort of wraps up and summarizes all of my knowledge and education behind it. So it's really a cool thing. I never thought I have 2 patents on a jump rope technology.
Oh, wow.
It's attributed to all the fastest speed scores in the world.
I think I've got one of your ropes somewhere.
Yeah, well, I'd like to see you use it.
Oh,
Wow, that sounds like a challenge. Damn.
No kidding.
Called out on the show.
Totally called out.
I may have left it in my car because it was given to me. It was given to me
now
yesterday.
he doesn't know where it is.
Yeah, it's a
He
good
was
thing
like,
we have
oh,
a
wow.
whole booth
I
of jump ropes right around
left
the
it like my buddy's house.
But my big claim to fame in CrossFit right now is that my 10 minutes of double unders. I don't know if you've heard of this, but I can do
You
10
double
minutes
under
of
straight, 10 minutes?
no mistakes.
Wow.
So this came to be every fall. I host a tournament for like the little jumpers in my community in Colorado, and it's 10 minutes. So we all stand up and you just keep going, and if you miss, you're out, and if you get to 10 minutes, you win. And so for 4 years in a row, I've gone to 10 minutes, and it's
Wow.
about 1,400 double unders in a row.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. How many?
Around-
1,400.
yeah. You can watch the
That's
video.
incredible.
Go to my website, check it out. It's like this for 10 minutes.
Oh, up and down.
Yeah.
Up and
I think
down.
our gym record might be in. I don't think anyone's broken 400, but in the 300s.
300s. Cool,
Yeah.
cool. I just got the evil eye from Jared. I think we're like.
Okay, well, we'll
Do
let
out
you
on
get
the
out of
floor.
here. So they go to jumpandrope.com, and then if they want
Jumpandrope.com.
more information, what's your email?
My email is jumpandrope@gmail.com.
Perfect.
Or
Easy,
Molly
easy
Metz
to.
at jumpandrope.com. You
Can we buy jump ropes on your website?
You can buy jump ropes on my website.
Perfect.
Awesome.
All right, thank you for coming out. Excuse me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This was the Garage Games 1 event, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. See you next time.
Thanks, Molly.